The Book of Destiny. Translation of Kitab-ul-Taqdeer. Author: Ghulam Ahmed Parwez. Translated by Dr. Ejaz Rasool. Glasgow, UK. ISBN number 9798884207042. 13 Chapter 13, Tuija Mantashayu wa Tuzila Mantashayu. There is a verse of Surah Al-Imran which is commonly translated as. Translation by Maulana Mahmud ul-Hassan. Say: O Allah, possessor of the kingdom, bestow a kingdom upon whoever you wish, and snatch away the kingdom from whoever you wish. And bestow Izzat on whoever you wish, and humiliate Zillat whoever you wish. All good is in your hand. Undoubtedly, you are in control of everything. 3:26. The concept of government and kingdom is beyond the intellectual level of the populace. Hence these are not generally discussed, but conversations about respect and humiliation take place in every street and neighborhood. Nowadays, it is wealth that has acquired the criterion for respect, therefore when they see that yesterday an individual was struggling to earn a living, and today he has become the owner of millions, regardless of whether that wealth may have been obtained through gambling, theft and deceit, smuggling, bribery, etc. And on the other hand, the son of an affluent family, who used to travel in a limousine for leisurely outings until yesterday, can now be viewed begging, even if he has lost his wealth as a result of gambling and alcohol. Then they say to each other, "O my brother, this is all due to the greatness of Allah. He gives Izzat to whoever he wishes, and he humiliates whoever he wishes. No one can dare to question Allah about this." 13.1 The meaning of Izzat and Zillat. Before presenting the correct meaning of this and other verses like this, it is essential to understand a couple of matters as an introduction. First, the meanings of these words Izzat and Zillat that appear in this verse and in other places in the Quran are not those meanings in which they are used among us. In the Arabic language, Izzat means power, intensity, and supremacy, and Zillat means subjugation, the decline of power, becoming feeble. The word Takrim, eminence, appears in the Arabic language and the Quran for those meanings in which we employ the word Izzat, and the word Tawhin, insult, the root of which is When, for Zillat, according to our prevalent meaning. Second, that the materialistic doctrine of life has infiltrated the world to such an extent that the criterion for Izzat is now declared to be wealth. A rich man, no matter what his character may be, is considered highly respectable in society, and everyone views the poor with contempt, even though it was not so long ago that the criterion for Izzat among us used to be good character, not wealth. Third, this meaning which is drawn from this verse that Allah has not defined any procedure and law for government and authority, and respect and eminence, that he bestows government and authority on whoever he wishes, for no reason, and takes it away from whoever he wishes, for no reason. He confers respect on whoever he wishes, for no reason, and humiliates whoever he wishes, for no reason, is refuted by these words by Yatikul-Khair themselves from this verse, that is that Allah is the fountainhead of good and beauty. The taking away of government and the erasing of Izzat are not good and beautiful, therefore this thing is far from Allah, who is the fountainhead of good and beauty, that he will humiliate and degrade someone for no reason. 13.2 The preconditions for acquiring authority. After this, we now return to the original topic. First, let us consider government and state, control, and authority. In Chapter 6 we have discussed the Taqdeer of nations in detail. From this you will have seen what the eternal laws are for the rise and fall of nations. There is no need to repeat these details. At this point it will be sufficient to describe what the preconditions are according to the Quran to acquire government and authority. These will be called the laws of Mashi'at. It is noted in Surah Anbiya, after giving essential commands and directions in the Zabur, or every book of Wahi. This matter was decreed as a fundamental law that only those people will inherit the land, authority and state, who possess the ability for this. This fundamental law contains a far-reaching reality within it for each one of those nations which lives its life under the obedience of our laws. 21. 105 to 106. In other words, the fundamental law of inheritance in the land is that it becomes attained by the Salihin. A particular meaning of Salihin, and from this respect Amali Saleh, has become customary among us, in which there is no need to go into details. When Deen becomes converted into Madhab, then this is what its terminology becomes reduced to. 13.3 What is meant by Salihin? According to the Quran, Salihin are those people who possess the ability for that task which is being referred to, and by Amali Saleh are meant those tasks which develop human potentials. In the matter of government and state, when it is stated that the Salihin will be able to attain it, from this will be meant those people in whom the ability to acquire a state and to establish authority will be present. Two things will be included in this ability. One will be physical ability, that is all those physical characteristics and means on the basis of which a state is acquired. And the second will be those human abilities on the basis of which the government transforms the communal life of human beings into an earthly paradise. It is obvious that the nation which only possesses physical powers and is devoid of humanitarian capacities, its government will be that of Pharaoh, Halaka Khan, or Genghis Khan, or atheistic nations of the modern era. Contrary to this, the nation which does not possess the physical abilities for government and state will simply not be able to acquire this authority. But the nation which possesses the physical abilities, and together with this also has Iman in the divine permanent values, its government will come into existence to fulfill the responsibilities of Allah. This is that government about which it is stated in the Quran that Allah has promised to those who have Iman and do Salih deeds, that He will establish them in the land. 24. 55. Those people who maintain a firm conviction in the truth of the laws of Allah, and after this carry out those tasks which draw out their potentials, we will bestow authority and state on them. This is our promise. Immutable law. The outcome of such a government will be the establishment of the Deen of Allah. There will be no kind of fear and grief in it. In this there will be obedience purely to the laws of Allah, not to that of any human being. 24. 55. 13.4 The importance of protection of physical resources. It was also emphasized to these people that following the acquisition of government, this should not happen that you become oblivious regarding the physical means which are required for its strengthening. Never do this. For the security of your borders, whatever sinews of war and cavalry is required, keep these ever ready, so that as a result your threat is maintained in the hearts of your enemies, and the enemies of the Deen of Allah, and also of those whom you know not. 8. 60. 13.4.1 The story of Bani Israel. For the elucidation of this reality that ability is a prerequisite for government and state, the Quran has described the story of Bani Israel in detail and with great emphasis. After explaining the various links in this account at different places, it is stated in Surah Al-Qasas that, and we wished to be gracious to those who were being depressed in the land, to make them leaders and make them heirs, to establish a firm place for them in the land. 28. 5-6. Ultimately, we formed the intention to extend ihsan on the nation which had been made extremely weak after being gripped in the chains of slavery and subjugation, to provide them with leadership of their compatriot nations, and by giving them power in the land, make them heirs of government and state. It is stated here that Allah had formed the intention for this. One intention of Allah takes place in the domain of Amr. 36. 82. That He forms the intention and that thing appears in actuality. But His other intention takes place in the domain of Khalq, for the fulfillment of which different stages are required, and it comes into shape through human hands. Therefore, for the accomplishment of this intention of Allah regarding Bani Israel, a detailed program was given to Moses, the basic prerequisite of which was the correct education and training of an enslaved nation like Bani Israel. Moses tried his utmost to implement this, but they did not listen to a single thing he said. They simply would not agree firmly on any one thing. Due to this heedlessness of theirs, Moses used to say to them repeatedly that, said Moses to his people, ask for help from Allah, and be patient. For the earth is Allah's to give in inheritance to such of his servants as per his law, and the end is best for muttaqeen. 7. 128. It is true that Allah has declared that you will acquire government and estate, but this is not obtained just like that. This is obtained according to the law of Mashiat of Allah, according to which the primary condition is that you should create the ability within you for it. And to create this ability it is essential that you remain firm on this program with discipline and perseverance, and have iman in this reality that no matter how many hardships appear on the path, ultimately those people who adhere to the laws of Allah will definitely succeed. But this nation did not change its path, the consequence of which was that Allah declared, therefore will the land be out of their reach for 40 years. In distraction will they wander through the land. But sorrow you not over these Fasiq people. 5. 26. For 40 years that same land which was earmarked for them became forbidden to them. And Moses was told to let them wander about in the Sinai desert, and to focus his attention on the education and training of their younger generation. Therefore, in this way these ease-loving great elders accustomed to an environment of slavery faded away, and when their new generation reached maturity, they occupied this land in one fell swoop. And that proclamation which Allah had made about Bani Israel became fulfilled in this manner. 7. 137. It became accomplished because they remained steadfast on their program with courage and resoluteness. In this way we made Bani Israel heirs of this kingdom. 26. 59. 13.4.2 The story of Talub. Have you observed how the law of acquiring inheritance in the land is dependent on ability? In the account of Talub, the meaning of Man Yasha emerges clearly before us. The nation of Bani Israel said to their Nabi that we are ready for battle, but first appoint some commander. This Nabi told them that Allah has appointed Talub as your commander. They retorted, how has Talub been appointed as the commander? He does not possess any treasure or wealth. Their Nabi told them that treasure and wealth is not a requirement to command an army. For this it is essential that he should possess the necessary physical prowess, and that he is also acquainted with the art of war and weapons. Both of these abilities are possessed by Talub, that is why he has been selected for this position. Have you observed with what clarity Allah has explained why this authority was given to Talub? And after this it is stated, authority and control are obtained according to the law of Mashiat of Allah. Remember, divine knowledge is far vaster in comparison to your knowledge. Your knowledge was confined to only this, that wealth should be the criterion for selection, whilst we knew what kinds of abilities are necessary for the command of an army. This is our law of Mashiat according to which the selection of Talub has taken place. 2. 247. Have you seen what the meaning of assigning power is according to the law of Mashiat? Not this, that he bestows authority and government on whoever he wishes for no reason. After this it is stated that Talub came with his army to confront Jalut, Goliath. These wishes of his heart were continually appearing on his lips as prayers that, O our Rabb, bestow on us the blessings of courage and strength, bestow on us steadfastness in the battlefield. 2. 250. In this battlefield Dawood killed Jalut, and in this way Allah bestowed power on him. 2. 251. After this Allah explained the hikmat in this, why the need arises to engage in this kind of battle and combat. It is stated that, if this did not happen, that Allah had protection from tyrannical and unjust nations carried out by other groups of human beings, then tyrannical forces will unleash destruction in the world. But because Allah does not wish the destruction of human beings, hence He has put such an arrangement in place. 251. 13.5 Fulfillment of the divine program via human hands. See with what clarity it is stated here that the protection of one group of human beings is only carried out through the hands of another group of human beings. Allah does not do it directly. This first group is that which acquires authority merely on the basis of the power of physical forces and makes life difficult for its subjects. Another group rises up against them, which is equipped with the faculties of human eminence together with physical forces. For elaboration of this, look at these illuminating verses of Surah Al-Hajj, in which it is described why permission for battle was given to the Jamaat-e-Momineen. 22. 39-41. Following this, when they acquired government, it was stated to them in clear words that, so that we can observe what kinds of deeds you perform. 10. 14. If you, too, adopt the same path of tyranny and injustice, or the potentials for combat fade in you, then another nation will take your place. And that will not be like you, it will possess better abilities than you. 47. 38. From this you have seen what the meaning is of you bestow power according to your law of Mashi'at, and you take away power according to your law of Mashi'at. 3. 26. Greater detail has been covered in Chapter 6 under the topic of Taqdeer of Nations. 13.6 The Law of Izzat and Zillat. Now let us look at the second part of this verse. 3. 26. That is the divine law regarding Izzat and Zillat. We will first examine the Quranic meanings of the words Izzat and Zillat, that is, power and supremacy, ascendancy and eminence. And opposite to this, weakness and subjugation, backwardness and deprivation. For this a comprehensive principle has been proclaimed in Surah Fatir. It is stated that, whoever among you wishes power and control, ascendancy and supremacy, Izzat, he needs to know that true Izzat can be achieved from Allah. That is by obeying the laws of Allah. 35. 10. Note that it is declared here, whoever among you wishes to achieve Izzat. It is clear from this that Izzat is only obtained by the one who wishes to achieve Izzat, it is not received automatically from Allah. Following this it is stated that the first step for this is that you need to adopt the correct ideology of life. This is called Iman. There is the potential to reach pinnacles in Quranic ideology, that is the correct ideology of life, in which there is the potential to bear fruits. This is called Tayyib. In this there is the power to rise and ascend towards heights, and Amali Salih become the means to carry him upwards. Therefore Izzat is the natural consequence of Iman and Salih deeds. Contrary to this, for those people who adopt such measures due to which imbalances are created and due to which evil spreads, and they acquire Izzat in this manner, the outcome of this is severe destruction. All their schemes ultimately turn to dust. 35. 10. It is declared in Surah Yunus that those people who become his companions in taking the divine program to its accomplishment through Iman and Salih deeds in this way. In Quranic terminology they are called Awliya Allah. They have no kind of fear and grief, they are those people who, after acquiring firm Iman in the truth of the laws of Allah, observe these fully and wholeheartedly. For them there are glad tidings of all kinds of bounties in worldly life and also in the life of the hereafter. This is that law of Allah in which there is never any alteration. This is a supreme success and achievement. Therefore, if in the initial period of this program opponents say all kinds of discouraging and mocking things, there is no need to become disheartened. Remember, all sources of Izzat is with Allah. 10. 65. It is stated in Surah An-Nisa that the Munafiqeen collude with the opponents in this divine system. What, do they seek Izzat among them? Say to them that Izzat with all its ascendancy can be achieved through association with the laws of Allah. 4. 139. 13.7 This is a collective effort. But conformity with the laws of Allah is not an individual act. For this it is essential to unite in this collective system which is being shaped through the hands of Rasulullah and his companions to establish these laws practically. This collective system is referred to in Surah Al-Munafiqun. Power, Izzat, belongs to Allah and His Messenger and to the Mu'mineen. 63. 8. Contrary to this, those people who oppose the system to the extent of entering the battlefield should know that they will be humiliated. This is because Allah has decreed that. Allah has written that it is His immutable law that Allah and His messengers will always prevail. This is because He is the possessor of supreme power, omnipotent. 58. 20-21. 13.7.1 Is it through Hasanate? It is stated in Surah Yunus that those people who live life in a balanced way perform those deeds due to which their self and universal humanity is reformed. Its consequence is that their life keeps on becoming beautiful. Even more beautiful than their own balance-creating deeds. Disgrace and zillat will never come near them. 10. 26. 13.7.2 Zillat as a consequence of sayyat, evil-doing. In contrast to them, those people who perform deeds which create imbalances. Those who are defacers of the beauty of the universe. The balance of their own life will keep becoming disrupted to the same degree that is the darkness of humiliation will cast a shadow on their faces. 10. 27. It was this wrong path of life as a consequence of which a nation possessing power and glory like Bani Israel became ensnared in a hell of disgrace and degradation. Shame is pitched over them wherever they are found, and pitched over them is destitution. 2. 61. After this it is made clear that this did not occur by chance, this occurred because they adopted a path of rejection and transgression of the laws of Allah, they violated the limits. 3. 112. 13.8 Izzat in the meaning of Takareem. Now let us examine this meaning of Izzat which is prevalent among us, and for which, as has been stated previously, the word Takareem has appeared in the Quran. An opposite to this is the word Tawheen for disrespect and disgrace, whose root is Hwn. The Quran first of all made this fact clear that the criterion for respect is not wealth, race, and tribe, or any other similar kinds of relative standards. Its criterion is purity of character and eminence of conduct, that is, righteous and balanced conduct. It announced that caste, race, families, and tribal specifications are merely for the sake of identification. According to the criterion defined by Allah, the one who is most deserving of respect and possessor of Izzat is the one who is the most righteous in conduct. 49. 13. Elaborating this at another place, it is stated about the devotees of Allah who become eligible for Jannat in return for their deeds, that they are the ones who are deserving of respect and eminence. 37. 42. In Surah Yasin there is mention of that Momin man who raised the voice of haqq with great courage among the crowd of opponents, and declared that I wish my nation knew what blessings Allah has bestowed me with. He has bestowed extreme respect and eminence on me. 36. 27. Contrary to this, it has proclaimed the outcome of the wrong path to be a humiliating and chastising punishment. How this humiliation and chastisement descends is noted in Surah Al-Hajj. Those people who reject and falsify the laws of Allah, they become trapped in a severe chastisement. 22. 57. At another place it is stated that those people who mock the divine laws and ridicule them suffer from a humiliating penalty. 45. 9. In Surah Hamim it is proclaimed as a principle that a humiliating punishment descends in return for your own deeds. 41. 17. 13.8.1 The wrong criterion for respect. At one place the Quran has described a very far-reaching reality in a very refined way. It has already been noted that people attain control and authority on the basis of injustice and tyranny. And then by declaring power and authority, or wealth and status as being the criteria for izzat, become the possessors of izzat and takreem in society. Every individual bows down in greeting to them, from fear of them, and seats them in an elevated place. Regarding the izzat, supremacy, acquired through pharaonic tyranny and oppression, and the veneration and elevation accorded based on an erroneous criterion of superiority, the Quran states that the eventual end of this kind of respect and status is a humiliating destruction. Therefore, to illustrate this abstract reality through a tangible metaphor, the Quran states that this is the kind of individual who will be brought to Jahannam and will be given extremely humiliating and chastening means of food and drink, and it will be announced, "Taste now the outcome of this humiliating and chastening destruction. You used to consider yourself very unaccountable and worthy of respect." 44. 49. 13.8.2 Supremacy with intrinsic seeds of decline. How those claimants of false authority and artificial venerations will be treated in the hell of the hereafter, that is a later issue. What the end is in this world of these kinds of men of government and authority, and claimants of respect and status, we witness this edifying spectacle on a daily basis. Allah has declared this kind of control and authority to be al-izzatu bil-itham. 2. 206. That is that control and authority from which it seems to be apparently gaining great power, but which is in reality leading towards degeneration. This is that control and authority which is obtained by discarding haqq from one's hand. The consequence of this is the punishment of humiliation. 46. 20. In a wrong society, power is acquired in this way, and respect also according to this criterion. 13.9 Defining ranks according to deeds. In contrast to this, in a society founded on haqq, the defining of ranks is based on eminent character and good conduct. The principle which operates in this is everyone's ranks according to their deeds, full recompense for everyone's actions, no one is treated unjustly. 46. 19. The meaning of zulm is that a thing which should be at its requisite place is not there. If someone does not obtain that status in society which he deserves based on his personal achievement and eminent character, then this is also zulm, and the individual who obtains that status which he does not deserve, that too is zulm. Zulm does not occur in a Quranic society. Everyone's status of izzat and takreem is defined according to their deeds. In this, every possessor of eminence, fadl, receives his rank according to his degree of eminence. 11. 3. Every possessor of knowledge is bestowed with rank according to his capability. Allah knows the deeds of everyone. 58. 11. He becomes their companion on the basis of their deeds. 6. 127. On the basis of their deeds, this is the immutable law of Mashi'at, according to which government and state is acquired and izzat and takreem also. This is covered in section 12.21 as well. 13.10 The correct meaning of verse 3. 26. In light of these explanations, bring this verse of Surah Al-Imran before you which is being discussed under this topic, and see how clear its meaning is. O Allah! You are the true master of power and authority. Those people who operate according to your law of Mashi'at, you bestow authority on them. Those who go against it, you snatch authority away from them. Izzat and zillat is bestowed and snatched away according to your law of Mashi'at. This does not occur due to deception. How could this take place through deception? Because you are indeed the fountainhead of care. All good. How can evil become created from the fountainhead of good? You have fixed scales, estimates, and laws for everything, and whichever decision is in accordance with the law of haqq, there cannot be an iota of injustice and tyranny in it. 3. 26. O Ilah of Alameen! Being Allah suits only you. 13.118 And support from Allah. We have seen this testimony from Allah that He becomes the companion and helper of human beings based on their deeds. 6. 127. This supreme companionship of Allah is called His aid and support. Words about invisible support are commonly referred to among us. The question is this: what is this support of Allah and who receives it? From the words invisible support, the mind thinks in this direction that no action of man is included in this. This appears from the unseen just like that. And in support of this, verses such as 3:13 are presented and translated as, but Allah does support with His aid whom He pleases. 13.11.1 The meaning of Nusrath. Support. In the Arabic language, the meanings of Nusrath are for the rain to irrigate the land, for streams and tributaries to meander far off into the wadi so that they can be used for irrigation. It is obvious that rain can only be beneficial for that farmer who prepares his land for cultivation. Physical means and resources are lying dispersed throughout the universe. The individual who is acquainted with their characteristics and properties, and also knows how to utilize them based on procedure and law, and then also uses them accordingly, his efforts bear fruition. The one who does not take advantage of these based on procedure and law remains unsuccessful. This can be described in other words as obtaining the aid and support of Allah, by making efforts according to the laws of Allah. As an example, an individual rows his boat in the direction of the flow of water in a river, and another goes against the current, the time in which one will traverse 10 miles by going downstream. The one going upstream will perhaps not be able to cover more than a mile, and over and above this, the degree to which his energy will be consumed is obvious. 13.11.2 The one who helps Allah, Allah helps him. Hence, the Jamaat which rises up for the fulfillment of the program of Allah, and works according to the laws defined by Him, their efforts will establish full results. Note in what an eloquent style the Quran has explained this reality. It is proclaimed, O Jamaat Imamaneen! If you would help Allah, then Allah will help you. 47:7. Just observe here. Taking the lead or initiative to help will be from the direction of human beings, that is, the Jamaat which helps Allah, Allah will help it. It is obvious that Allah is not dependent on the help of anyone, hence the meaning of helping Allah is that of making efforts for the completion of His program, the establishment and strengthening of Deen. After this, then see what this help from Allah will do. It is stated, He will bestow on you firm-footedness. 47:7. For the success of any program, steadfastness and perseverance is the foremost condition. And this is only possible when there is firm iman in the veracity of this program, and full conviction in this fact that the path which we are adopting, the method which we are using, will of a surety take us to the shores of success. From this that tranquility of heart, collective resolve, is acquired whose practical outcome is steadfastness. After this it is stated that, and those people who deny the laws of Allah, in their share are failures and despairs. Their deeds go to waste, they do not produce the desired results. This is because these people dislike the laws and values sent down through Wahi. Hence their deeds remain without results. 47:8-9. Whatever task is done contrary to procedure and law, it will remain without any result. It is stated about those muhajireen, migrants, who, for the sake of participating in the establishment of the deen of Allah, had come to Medina having left everything of theirs behind. They are those people who aid Allah and His Messenger. These are the very people who are truthful in their proclamation of Iman. 59:8. It is about them that it is declared, certainly, Allah helps the one who helps Allah. 22:40. Which people Allah helps is elucidated further at another place. It is stated, Allah is He who sent His messenger with the code of guidance that is sent with this system of life which is absolutely based on truth. So that this system overcomes all batil systems of the world. Even if this thing is very distasteful to these people who wish to obey the commands of different gods instead of obeying the laws of one Allah. In this connection, O Jamaat-e-Mu'minin, come, let us inform you about a principle of life. It is obvious that every individual in the world wishes to do such business in which he attains benefit. But you also witness that man engages in many such transactions in which there is loss to him instead of profit. Now think, if you become apprised of such a commerce in which there is never any loss, then how great will this transaction be? Come. We will tell you about such a commerce in which there is never any possibility of loss, and in this way, it protects you from a chastising punishment. That commerce is this: that you maintain full conviction in the truth and concreteness of the system of Allah, which is being shaped through the hands of His messenger. Make full strivings and endeavors for the establishment of this system. Also spend your wealth and possessions for this, and if the need arises, even lay down your lives as well. If you reflect using your knowledge and reasoning, then you will see how much profit lies in this commerce. This system will make available such provisions for you due to which you will be saved from those destructions which remain chasing behind you. And it will provide you with such a paradisiacal life in this world and in the life of the hereafter, in whose sparkle and freshness there will never be any change. For example, perennial gardens with very pleasant dwellings to live in. This is a supreme achievement for whoever acquires it. 61. 9-12. After this it is stated that, and over and above this, all that which is very dear to you, that is, the aid of Allah and forthcoming victories. O Rasool, give glad tidings of this to the Jamaat-e-Mu'minin. 61. 13. Have you observed which people receive aid? Nusrath. From Allah? 13.11.3 The necessity of the sword for Nusrath. It has already been noted that for the success of any aim, the primary condition is that you need to have firm conviction in the truth of this aim. After this, the second condition is that the required resources and means are made available for the achievement of this aim, and that they are utilized according to procedure and law. See with what clarity the Quran has explained these two conditions. It is stated in Surah Al-Hadid that we sent our messengers with clear laws, that is, sent down divine books with them so that people can live life according to justice and fairness. This is the divine guidance. After this it is stated that together with these directions, we also sent down a sharp-edged sword. This has great hardness and cutting ability, and when it is used according to the laws of Allah, this proves to be of great benefit for mankind. We made all this arrangement for this reason, so that Allah witnesses who among you aids Him and His messengers, bil, Gabe. Unseen. 57. 25. The word unseen here is worthy of deep reflection. In the initial stages of the program of the Deen of Allah there are countless hardships and difficulties. In this it is necessary to persistently toil and strive, and no tangible result appears in front. In this period only he can bear such life-consuming hardships, who, like a farmer, has conviction in this fact that one day this program will produce outstanding results. Only Iman in the unseen outcomes of this program can make man agreeable for such persistent striving and keep him firm-footed. This is called Iman bil Gaib, which is declared at the beginning of the Quran to be the fundamental condition for success. 2. 3. This same Nusrath bil Gaib is mentioned in 57. 25. Similarly, we attach our expectations for unseen help from Allah, and Allah expects unseen aid from us. This is why He has stated, O Jamaat-e-Mu'minin, become helpers of Allah. 61. 14. After this we are informed that Isa said the same thing to his followers, and with what zeal they declared their acquiescence to it. This is a separate story about which I have written in detail in my book, Shola-e Mastur. 13.11.4 The battlefield of Badr. The very first practical demonstration of this Nusrat took place in the arena of Badr, where on one side was that Jamaat which had entered the battlefield with sword in hand for the sake of the establishment of the deen of Allah. The Quran has termed this as Qitl fi Sabil Allah. And on the other side was the Jamaat of the opponents, whose Qitl was fi Sabil al-Tagud. The Jamaat Imamanin were aiding Allah by taking their lives in their hands, and it was the haqq and veracity of the law and system of Allah that was helping them. At this point it is stated in 3:13, which can have two meanings, that whoever wishes to seek Allah's help in this way, Man yasha'u, Allah provides him with help, and also that Allah helps in this way according to his law of Mashi'at. This help is not just acquired accidentally, it is acquired rationally according to a procedure and code, because it is stated after this that there is the means of instruction. Ibrat. In this for men of vision and those possessing intellect and reasoning. 3:13. Ibrat means to reach a conclusion after examining the causes in the light of facts and evidence. That event which takes place in such a way that nothing can be known about how it came into existence. Such is the concept of unseen support. The question of inviting the use of intellect and reasoning according to knowledge and vision regarding it does not even arise. This was that divine Nusrat about which it was declared that it will become a cause for joy and celebration for the Jamaat Imamanin. 35. 13.11.5 Help via Malaika. Universal forces. It has been explained in the verses themselves that the aim from that aid via the Malaika, which is mentioned in these campaigns, was to provide composure to the hearts of the Jamaat Imamanin. 8:9-10. So that, in this way, there should be no tremor in their steps. 8:12. This is that very steadfastness and resoluteness through which the aid of Allah is obtained. For this, the condition is: if you face challenges with resoluteness and keep obeying the laws of Allah, then you will achieve the Nusrat of Allah. 3:122-125. If there are 100 mujahideen among you who remain steadfast, then they will overcome 200. In this way Allah is with those who remain steadfast. 8:66. The technique to obtain this divine Nusrat is that you should obey Allah and His Messenger. Do not engage in mutual conflicts. If you do this, then you will founder. Remain steadfast. 8:46. Remember, Allah gives support to those who remain steadfast, and no one can overpower those people who acquire the Nusrat and companionship of Allah like this. When Allah aids you, then no one can overpower you. 3:160. And if He forsakes you, then who can aid you after that? The fundamental condition for this supremacy and Nusrat is this: if you are Mu'minin, then you will remain in authority over all. 3:139. This is that Jamaat which is entitled to the Nusrat of Allah.